don't know if you can see that. It is a book of essays I read by Brian Dillon called Essayism. And I found it through a channel that I'm going to have to bring up here. I found it through a channel that I watch. I mentioned the other day I watch some channels in Spanish, book talk channels or booktube channels. Book talk will come up in a minute. That's my main point. This is from Ricardo Carrion Libros. Um, he did a great video talking about the concept of essays, personal essays, and he kind of, as his anchor for the video, he used the Spanish edition of this book, Essayism, by Brian Dillon, who's apparently a very prominent essayist. He's got a lot of credits. I had never heard of him before. He's American. I'm sorry, he's Irish, and he writes in many of the British outlets. It's about the concept of an essay. I mean, it's all essays, of course, but it's all sort of related to the concept of what how to define an essay, and he mentions Montaigne a lot, and a few others that are pretty well known. Virginia Woolf, other famous prominent essayists, uh, and defining an essay as literally something that is unfinished, that's kind of speculative, that doesn't necessarily come to a conclusion. It doesn't really solve a problem, just sort of touches around a problem. And maybe that's what I'm doing today, because I found an article that I wanted to share with you, although I don't know that it relates very much to my channel. Did I just put on two pairs of glasses? Oh my God. I thought I'd need these for the glare, but there's no glare at the moment, so. And this is an article from The Guardian that I found was interesting. I want to share with you, but I really don't think I have anything, frankly, to add to it, or to even question about it. It's just an observation. I don't know if it's going to affect anybody who watches this channel. Probably not. I don't know if it would affect me. Probably not. But it is about, the article is in The Guardian, and I'll link to that as well as to the channel I just mentioned. Even though it's in Spanish, I think I should link to it, because it's good to do credit where you get your ideas from, even though probably nobody will watch, not that many people will watch it. Here come the bees again. Save the bees. Young Finns snub their mother tongue by reading in English. That's the article in The Guardian I'm talking about. It was published 22nd, so yesterday, last night. Publishers fear for the future of translated literature as sales of foreign language books rise. Growing numbers of young people in Finland are buying books in English rather than in their mother tongue, raising fears among publishers over the future of translated literature. This would be publishers in Finland, of course. 1 in 4 titles sold in Finnish bookshops last year were written in a foreign language, according to the figures from the country's Association of Booksellers. In the vast majority of cases, that language was English. I wonder what the second language is. I bet I would put real money on the fact that the second language is Japanese because of manga. But it could be French, something else, but I bet it's Japanese. As in the case of neighboring Switzerland, the dominance of English across the internet, social media, film, and TV also means it is seen as aspirational for young people to be seen to speak and read in English. With a population of only 5.6 million, that's the entire population of Finland, which means it's the entire population of Finnish speakers. I don't know what percent of them are also fluent in English. Doesn't say that. Translation is a vital part of the industry. Blah blah blah. Among the most popular English translated titles were works by the U.S. authors Rebecca Yarros and Colleen Hoover. So the same people that are popular here, and the same people that are popular on TikTok. There was something here about, well, see what apparently happens. There's a couple interesting things. Apparently, this is kind of a side thing. It's really kind of relevant. One reason for the popularity of the English translations of these YA books and these romantasy books apparently is the Finnish readers find the sex scenes less embarrassing to read written in English. It gives them another distance from them than having to read them in their own language, which is quite interesting. That's just more of a comment on the state of popular fiction today and the kind of things that sell. Those disguised eroticism as other genres. Um, a main thing. I can't find that paragraph, but it was in here before. Uh, One of the things that's feeding this trend is book talk. In that the kids, the book talk readers, the fans want to read books when they come out in English because that's when the videos start coming out, and they don't want to wait for a translation. In a small translation market like Finland, where you've got entire potential readership of 5 million people, and of course, although Finnish people are very big readers, it's still going to be a small set of that. It's not going to be like translating a book into Spanish, where you have a billion potential new customers or many millions of potential new customers in every Spanish speaking language because it's such a small language. However, the Finnish, like I say, are very big readers. Maybe I'm interested in this because I was in Finland 2 years ago for about 3 months one summer. I loved it. A small town of the small city of Turku, which is very close to which is on the sea, which is on the water, and it is reachable. I took a ferry from Stockholm over there, so it's very close to Finland, to Sweden. When Finland was under Swedish control, it was the capital, and so there's quite a legacy of Swedish culture there in Turku. There's even one of the oldest active theaters, live theaters in Finland, is there. It is a Swedish language theater, although they do shows in Finnish as well, of course. But walking around that town, very small downtown, beautiful place to go. You should really look into it if you're making a trip to Europe and you have some time and you want to go someplace a little out of the way, off the beaten track. Off the top 5 destinations or whatever. I would look it out. It's got an incredible river that goes through the town, the Turku River. I think that's what it's called. You can just sit out there all day. It's all parks all along. It's a beautiful Western government culture, whatever you want to call it, that is very socially progressive, I guess, socially forward thinking. In that there's parks everywhere. There's plenty of amenities for the people. Just a great place to be. Would be a great place to live, I imagine. Grocery stores every 5 feet, I think, because of the winter. I don't know. Things seem very close together and a lot of convenience. But in the main town, probably when I'm walking around, I counted at least 6 bookstores in maybe a 3-block radius, and some of those also sold art supplies and things like that too. And then in the you go into the bigger grocery stores and they have what we used to have in the United States, which is racks of paperbacks and all these racks of Jack Reacher novels or whatever, that kind of thing, Brad Thor, all those kind of thriller writers, all translated into Finnish. But I do remember one day walking down the street and there was a big display of the at that time brand new biography of um, uh, Elon Musk, which was really premature, I guess, because the entire world's opinion of Elon Musk has changed in this 2 years. He's a completely different person, the way people perceive him now. But was that Walter Isaacson who wrote that book, the big biography guy? And it was just out in English, and so it was a big display of it, half of one bookstore. There was one whole window dedicated to the English version. And I remember thinking at that time that no matter how popular the book was, if there weren't a lot of English speakers in this small town, no company would in their right mind would dedicate half their front display to it. So clearly there were a lot of people, a lot of books in English in the store. Probably about I'd say that's where I went in there. I would say it was probably uh, 1/3 kids books in Finnish, I assume. 1/3 adult fiction. I mean adult section of all manner of books in Finnish translation or native Finnish, and then another whole wall of all English books. So you could really buy as much there in English in that town if you were not a native Finnish speaker. If you're on vacation or something, you have no trouble finding English books. So this article kind of corroborates that uh, it is a bit of a conundrum. People don't want to lose their local industry. They don't want to lose their local language. And since Finnish people are such great readers, it is a significant industry, publishing in Finland, publishing and translating in Finland, despite the small size of the language. And I guess it's just an observation that things are going to be lost because of the internet. You can't really blame for people if they're bilingual to want to read the book when it comes out, and not have to wait 6 months for a translation, because obviously if it's a small market like that, publishers are going to wait to make sure a title has legs, so to speak, before they're going to bother to pay for translation and bring out an edition. So you're going to be a year behind of what the trends are if you're a trendy kind of reader, if you care about the new books coming out, and you're just going to have more stuff available in English anyway. So I don't think there's any stopping of it. I just wanted to observe that phenomenon, just because of my time in Finland, my short time, regrettably short time in Finland. I wasn't there in the winter. That would have probably changed my opinion of it entirely, but it was just like paradise living there. I would like to go back someday. Uh, but yeah, I can see it. I can definitely see it. I mean, people would speak to me in Finnish there because of how I look. I don't look particularly that foreign in Scandinavia, and but they would almost immediately switch to the most articulate English, and I'm talking everybody, all walks of life, knew it. I would hear people use on the street and stuff in their own conversations, especially young people, use phrases that they had probably picked up on TV or something, or on streaming or games, or like these kids racing. These little kids, 8, 9, 10-year-old girls are racing on their scooters back and forth, and one of them gets cut off, and the other one goes, "Oh, give me a break!" Right in the middle of their finish, and then back to their native language, of course. So, uh, just interesting things you pick up about the world as you travel. And I'm trying to learn Spanish myself, of course. It's not the easiest thing, and partially because English is so prevalent everywhere. So I guess I could do a call to action. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so, or please check it and see if you are or not, because you might not be, and maybe you want to be. But if you don't want to be subscribed and you want to unsubscribe, don't do that. Just ignore the video and go on about your way. Thanks for this. I'll do another one tomorrow of some type, and we'll talk then.